Good morning. Um, well, we're starting on section three. Um, we're going to be talking about blood and the lymphatic system in the next three lectures, or that's my goal. And so that will be for this week and Monday of next week. And I guess my plan would be to have an exam over the blood vessels. Remember, we had this one lecture that we had done before that was about blood vessels, and then we have blood and the immune system. We will have next week, probably I'll post it on Wednesday of next week, so a week and a half from now, over these sections. I know the question you're asking, I will get a study guide posted for these sections. Then after that, on Wednesday of next week, we'll also start lecturing on. We have three more, three more sections after that. I've been paring down the material that I'm requiring you to know. After that, we'll then do respiratory, urinary, and digestive system. We have basically 4 weeks left for school, so we're going to try and do our best to cover everything we need to, and to make sure we cover at least the mainstream portions of these remaining five systems we're going to talk about. So today we're starting on the blood. And blood and lymphatics are actually kind of a fun system. I don't know, but we'll start out with our basic stuff. So this video is going to cover the first 4 slides in here. And so we have an interesting picture at the very beginning. And normally, I thought about removing this slide, but I thought, no, this is an image showing a blood clot. So when you look at that very first image of blood, it's an image showing a blood clot, and you see these fibers in there. And we'll talk when we get to that section. We'll talk about what those fibers are. This is something called fibrin fibers, and they are what hold a clot together, basically. So we're going to be talking about blood. And blood, the physical characteristics of blood, it's 7.35 to 7.45 pH, like most of our body. Temperature is body temperature about 38 degrees. You have a lot of blood. It's about 8% of your body weight. And depending on if you're a man or a woman, there's nothing magical about this. It says 5 to 6 liters in a man, 4 to 5 liters in a woman. Men are usually bigger. That's really all that amounts to. We then have the functions of blood. And so the third slide there is talking about the functions of blood. And we have 3 different functions. The first is transport. And so it's going to be carrying a lot of stuff. And one of the things we had said, one of the most important functions of blood is to carry blood gases, in particular oxygen. And we had said, why oxygen? Because you need it to release the energy stored in the food that you've eaten, in the nutrients you've eaten. Oxygen is required to release that energy for you to live. So oxygen is transported. Those nutrients that we're talking about, they're transported. The waste products are transported also. And then we had talked about the endocrine system in the past, and we had said we have these chemical messages that are carried throughout your body, hormones, and something that's very important now, antibodies that are involved in immunity. So that's why we cover blood, and then shortly thereafter we cover the lymphatic system. Regulation, body temperature. Helps to maintain body temperature by radiating heat away from your body if you're too hot. We'll talk about in blood we have the mechanisms for controlling pH, and then water balance. It's one of the main places that we store water. And then in protection, we have something called, this is hemostasis. It's not homeostasis, so don't hemostasis. This is the mechanism for stopping bleeding. And then the other function of blood is the other way that blood is protecting you, of course, is through the prevention of infection. And we'll talk about all these different kinds of cells that are involved in immunity. Finally, what is blood made of? The blood is made up of formed elements. Those are those cells, and we'll be talking about the individual cells. And the plasma, the water. We had said we have water that is floating around, and it's carrying things like nutrients and waste and hormones and antibodies. The liquid portion of the blood is the plasma. I'm going to stop right there because we're getting kind of long.